We had a pretty good sense that something bad was going to happen. This was probably a day we were all going to remember.
Today has been a very hard day for the state of Arkansas.
This is the area of concern.
I think we can see it on the camera.
Can we? Let's go ahead and take a look at it, folks.
That's it.
In that moment where you see the tornado, you know it's headed into a densely populated area. My thoughts are people are going to die in this. There's no avoiding it. It just looks like an impossible situation.
It was starting as a panic and turned more into just sort of a malaise of just what are we going to do in this situation, because it was just terrible.
And we lost over 20,000 trees just in the park. And I mean, it's a completely different place. I mean, I grew up playing at this place, and you just don't recognize it.
I look back, I'm absolutely amazed that we did not have dozens of deaths, hundreds of injuries. It's very fortunate. I think, there may have been someone looking out for us from above too.
March of 2023, it seemed like every week we were having another severe weather episode. So March 31st, in some regards, felt like, okay, it's another week in this crazy spring. How are you? Usually we get a lot of nighttime storms in Arkansas. They kind of develop out west, they move in, and then they do their thing after sunset. But I knew this one was going to be a little different, so I was definitely concerned with how the day was going to pan out.
I remember dropping my kids off at school and telling them there might be some strong storms today. Mommy may have to stay late. They're aware of how my job works.
We had people lined up to come in later in the day. We were anticipating, looking at the meteorological situation, we thought that things would start to get really active, probably midday, maybe into early afternoon.
Well, everyone, good afternoon. Tom Brandon with Nathan Scott, and also Scott Covert joining us. Full team coverage this afternoon. Severe weather in Arkansas. And our first tornado warning of the afternoon has come down in southwest Arkansas.
I noticed more and more warnings are starting to go out, and Tabitha's getting pretty busy. And so I just decided to come on out there and open up a workstation and log in and get all my radar screens up and everything.
The Storm Prediction Center going to a high risk. High risks in Arkansas, we might get one every 5 years.
And I've never issued a tornado emergency before. Probably will be my first and only one that I will ever issue, because we're supposed to reserve that for the most extreme situations where we have a large population base and a large violent tornado.
You kind of lose a little bit of focus that, oh, we're in the path too.
Folks that live along the Air Force Base, this is going to take a beeline close to you and the National Weather Service. Nathan, it looks as if this storm is going to go right over the top of the Weather Service and where the radar is located. This is where we get information to pass along to you.
I was really concerned that the office was going to sustain damage. Called Memphis again and said, hey, we're going to the shelter.
But it is really hard to get a group of meteorologists away from their screens and their jobs, because they are absolutely dedicated to what they're doing.
So everyone had gone into the bunker and Dennis lingered behind. He said, come on, we really need to go. I said, I'm just checking one more thing. And Dennis's voice started to rise with an increasing sense of urgency. He's like, we really need to go now. I said, okay.
So this is the severe weather shelter. Notice we've got 3 real heavy bolts in this metal door that was recently upgraded. Once in, we lock all 3 of the bolts, and then the room itself is a foot deep of concrete.
So most people were looking at the radar on their cell phones. We had a laptop back there we were monitoring, and we were waiting in anticipation for the sound of debris hitting the building, of trees being ripped up, and it never came. We're all looking at each other, and it's like, I think it missed us.
When you're inside those 4 walls and you're seeing it happen on radar, it's one thing, but then when you go out in the community and see what that did, it's very sobering.
I have a constant visual reminder of this every day. When I drive into work, I drive through the Amboy area. There was a church there. I think it was a Parkview Baptist Church that was heavily damaged. They weren't able to repair it. And so they had to completely tear the church down, and there's just one steel beam left standing vertically. There's nothing else left. I drive by that every single day, twice a day, coming to work and going home. And I see that steel beam sticking up in the middle of a concrete slab, and it reminds me of what happened that day.
At the end of the day, though, when I think back about March 31st, I think about how National Weather Service warnings, broadcast media coverage, emergency management, having the resources and preparing mutual aid, getting people in as fast as possible after the storms rolled through. That holistic, that team effort, I think, saved a lot of lives.
It's real simple. Whatever you need, we're going to come and provide it. If it's temporary shelter, if it's food, if it's clothing, we're coming together, we're going to work together, and we're going to make sure that the people have what they need. This is the home of one of the staffers in our office. And he found out that happened as he was sitting in our conference room responding to the storm. So we are so thankful they weren't here, that they're okay. And we're just here to help and be there for them in any way we can.
It's not just residents of Little Rock who have come in to help. It is literally people from coast to coast.
I just could not be more proud of our city and our citizens for coming together. We're going to get through it.
Post-tornado stress disorder is a real thing. Never thought of that until it happened.
I think back as I was traveling back from a site visit in West Little Rock in the midst of the storm, and literally within minutes of heading back to City Hall, sirens commenced, and we had to go to our tornado area in the lower level of City Hall. It's something that clearly was unexpected, unthinkable. Grateful for the men and women of the Little Rock Police Department, Fire Department, all of our first responders, all of our city workers and volunteers who literally within minutes of the tornado happening ascended to this area of the city.
What we were doing was looking at, at the storm off in the distance, really, just in time for the ceiling above us to start coming apart and debris to fly through our fire station. Probably under a minute we decided, well, we've got to go to work. Let's go figure out what we've got to do to help. Instead of making it a situation of when the need arises we can be this way, let's just be this way.
Not only being a tragic time for our city, it was a time where you truly saw our city come together.
We were blessed to have so many volunteers coming from here in the area, from many other places, from volunteer organizations, and people wanted to help us get things cleared out. We cleared out yards, cleared out houses, we helped people get things settled, and a lot of work's been done, and we're still doing it in our park. It's been a very long haul getting that back together, but all the work from the first days when literally trees were everywhere, large trees everywhere, to now where things are cleared, things are mostly clean. It's been a year, and we've not been completely forgotten. Things will change and time will go on. You can still see what's going on and see things, some things being built, some things being torn down.
You can rebuild structures. Structures get rebuilt, okay, clap your hands. But that doesn't put life back into a neighborhood. Some people have started crying, have come to tears when you say, hey, ma'am, what kind of tree would you like? If they sustain damage and would like a tree, we're going to put one in there. We're healing, and that's the important thing, and that's what we're trying to do with this project.
We know the recovery process is not a quick process. As you can see behind me, there's still a lot more work to do. We have residents that are still negotiating with insurance companies and still trying to make decisions on whether or not to move back, whether or not to rebuild.
My family's not moved back to our house as of yet.
Do you hope to move back soon? Is that the goal?
The goal is soon. We were hoping for within the next few weeks. We're just sort of crossing our fingers and keeping an eye on things.
What I want to convey today is that as we reach this year milestone, that we won't ever forget. We will always be here and always do what we can. This is not going to be a quick fix. This is going to be a multiple year journey.
This is exactly what we didn't want to happen today, and now we're beginning to see these cells really strengthen, producing a tornado in downtown Little Rock, West Little Rock, and now toward the northern side of town.
What was the hardest part of the tornado of March 31st?
The people that I saw that were affected, the trees that in the Burns Park, not just in Burns Park, but all over that we lost. That was the biggest part, and grasping the idea that we got to fix this, but the hardest part was seeing what it hurt people. It hurt a lot of people.
I really appreciate everybody's support and everybody, trying to help me to go through this. I understand there's other people that are going through this. So for those that are going through this, like me, you probably have to break down and then just gather back your strength, because this is just material. I don't know why from March 31st in 2023, and we're almost to March 31st of 2024, my family still does not have a house. Whatever strength that it used to have is dwindling. There's been times I've been trying to get a hold of my contractor, I can't, or either the bank didn't have the money to send to him, or the insurance company was holding off. If anybody has a solution, I'm not here begging or whatever. I'm just here to get back into my home. I know some people have abandoned their homes, have went up further. There's still houses that, happened during the tornado that are still not up. I'm fighting for this house. Yes, I could have found something else. Yes, my great realtor said, hey, I can find you a different place. My family, we have roots here.
Think back, March 31st, what did you hear at 5 o'clock? Chainsaws. Chainsaws were going off everywhere. People were out helping other people from all parts of the neighborhood, from even other cities. It didn't matter where you lived. If you got hurt, if you got hit, people were there to help you.
I'm alive, my daughter's alive, we found all our pets. All this doesn't really matter. All these people, most of them I don't know. And I just appreciate the help.
And I believe what the enemy meant for evil, God's going to turn for good. So this is an opportunity for the church to either put up or shut up. So we say one thing behind the pulpit, but this is the time when we really get to act like the church.
I don't know if you remember, this used to be the garage.
I remember.
Well, we divided it, right, and that was just done. So we made it into two bedrooms, because when you first came, we had this enormous support of people bringing us tarp, bringing us food, bringing us water, helping with just covering the house once the tornado hit. I just want to thank everybody, because everybody did not have to do that, especially for those people who did not know me.
I look at Amboy over here, what they went through and how they all came together. I go up to Indian Hills up there in the Lakewood area, and I see what they've gone through. So what impresses me more than anything is the people helping people. I mean, it was unbelievable, the volunteers that we had come out, not just from around here local, we have people come from other states. And that's impressive. Kids were in school, people were at work. If God spared us, He spared us because nobody was hurt. And all the other stuff that was destroyed, we can fix it better.
We look at life kind of before the tornado and then post-tornado, and just shock seeing it, because everybody is basically hunkered down someplace and seeking shelter, and you don't know what you're going to find when you step out. And then, parts of town looked totally normal, and as you're approaching it, you're like, wow, this is changing the landscape. And then you get into the middle of it, it's like just hard to believe, without being there and seeing it firsthand, the level of destruction.
And it is going to impact downtown Jacksonville. Cannot stress enough, those of you that live in Jacksonville and the Air Force Base, here is the area that we're looking at. Strong rotation and a tornado.
Schools had already dismissed, early dismissal. They were sending the kids home, and I went ahead and said, okay, let's close to everybody, go someplace safe. We'll see what happens, Hopefully, it doesn't hit, but it did. Our first responders, our city employees were just unbelievable that day. And they went so far above and beyond what is expected. I watched our people come together, total strangers, people who didn't know each other. You may have people in the same street who didn't know each other, but people came together to help. What can I give you? What can I do for you? Can we put you up? Can you come to my house? Come stay. Get out. Outside of the elements. We're still in the midst of cleanup from certain areas. It's just hard to believe it's been a year. It has gone by so fast, and it seems like so much of our attention has been focused on this. And we're really kind of glad to get to this year mark, to a degree, put it behind us, and continue to move forward and celebrate what the good that's going on here and changes that are taking place.
There's a force bigger than us that watches and sees and knows. And when your time of need comes, and it will come, no matter who you are or what you have, your time of need will come.
I love you, I love you, Lord. I love you, I love you, Lord.
It was so surreal just to see everyone out there in the midst, not allowing the destruction of the building be a hindrance to us giving praise to God. And know the fact that it was paid off. We were in a good place. All that was just wonderful. And within 2 weeks, it was gone. But now, almost a year later, look at what God has done for us. Come out of the sanctuary into the fellowship hall. This will be the fellowship hall right here.
Okay.
It'll be almost as big as the sanctuary.
Nice.
Which I wanted because I want people to be able to come together. And before, we were real tight over there.
Yes.
Now we have the space. And the thing I love about this so much too is the fact that not only has other denominations come to our rescue, but other races have come. That's been the greatest thing, is to see, unification happening. No matter what storm you face, no matter how damaging it looked, no matter how hopeless it looked, is that you don't have to worry about it. We can do it. Even if it's an individual or it's a community or it's a church, we can still come back.
Having a strong EF3 tornado move through a densely populated area, it's almost unheard of not to have any fatalities. And I don't think it was just luck. I think it was a team effort. I think without that team effort, people certainly would have died that day. So I am thankful.
I have replayed that in my mind 100 times over the last year. Asked myself, is there anything we could have done differently? Is there anything we could have done better? And honestly, I don't think there is. Everything worked so well that day. I think we did everything we could, and I think the tornado emergency, combined with the great teamwork and partnerships that we have, really made a big difference in saving lives.